All right, Shimode, we've had our week of focusing on our balance. And so our next weekly challenge of our big rod challenge is going to be all about focusing on strength in your glutes. So I've got 3 exercises for our challenge this week. Each of them is to be done daily. I like to go with about 15 on these, either 15 repetitions or a 15-second hold, whatever is going to work for you. So let's use our rod, strengthen the glutes. First exercise, we get down on the floor, a good old glute bridge. Now I like the rod across the hips because as I try to make this move more challenging, the rod's going to give me some nice feedback and help me know when I'm having some mistakes. So the basic movement for starters is going to be just, can you take a deep breath, flex those abs, and squeeze the butt. Now, there's a couple of places the rod can be helpful here. One, I've got it, oh, it looks like I'm out of frame and I don't have a cameraman, so you're just gonna have to trust me. It's touching my shoulder, it's touching my hip, and it's just above my knee. Try to get a straight line, straight as I can, from the shoulder to the knee. Now, the cue that a coach gave me a long time ago, imagine there's a walnut between your butt cheeks. Crack the walnut. You're gonna try to squeeze, 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 squeeze that butt. So you could do 15 repetitions, up and down, or a 15-second hold. Now, if you're finding that's pretty comfortable, now we move the rod across the lap, and now we go to a single leg. The rod here is really nice because now I know, whoop, my pelvis has come on tilt. If I want to tilt my pelvis, I don't want to tilt my pelvis. I want to keep everything nice and square. And so I can use the rod as a little bit of feedback to know if I'm staying straight or if I'm dropping. So again, if we're doing this, 15 up and 15 down, 15-second hold like that. If you're feeling really fancy and you can go to the gym, you can turn this into a barbell. I'm not going to do that because I'm in my living room, and that seems good for me. So there's our first step. Crack a walnut between the butt cheeks. Get those glutes to fire. If you're having trouble getting off the ground altogether, I would ditch the rod for a moment and I would lay in this position with your hands under your butt and try to squeeze one butt cheek at a time. This probably isn't making for very good video, but I am squeezing my cheeks one at a time so that I've got my hand there to feel that things are coming along. Similar to the balance challenge, I want to try to keep nice posture, my shoulders open, my chest up, my abdominals firm, and breathing throughout the entire thing. So we start with our 15 of those, 15-second hold, 15 repetitions, or if you're doing the single leg version, 15 on each leg. Next we move to what's called a bird dog. Now the big problem that I see with people doing bird dogs is that you use a lot of lower back extension, and we're trying to get our glutes strong. We don't want to extend our lower back. So the way I like to do this one is with the stick along the back. Now I'm looking for 3 points of contact from the rod, right at the base of my spine, right in between my shoulders, and on the back of my head. Now if I try to do a bird dog, the movement says lift one leg back. I'm thinking about trying to touch my heel to the opposite wall and the other arm forward. And I want to do that while feeling very little movement in the rod. The big thing that can be a problem with this is people look up, oh, lost the rod. So I'm going to keep everything nice and lined up in neutral so that I'm working my glutes and keeping my spine safe. The other mistake that the rod can help with is if I push my foot back to the wall, I'm using my glutes. If I push my foot to the ceiling, I'm using my spine, and my lower, not my spine, but my lower back muscles. And I can feel the rod move when I cheat like that, as opposed to get it established again, go straight back, and then I'm in better shape. So a 15-second hold on either side is great. 15 repetitions is great. If you have a little bit of a struggle and maybe you're just the leg, maybe that's good enough for you. So heel to the opposite wall, hand in front of you. Maybe you just need to reach your hand a little bit out and further. Maybe you need to keep your hand in. Whatever's right for you. but we're really trying to look for that squeeze in the buns. Now, I promised something that would build off of our balance challenge. And so another one is going to be, oh, that noise you hear in the background is my cat licking in an old plate. So we can use this, and I'm going to keep that same posture that I felt through my balance, that I felt through my bird dog. I'm going to use my rod for balance, and I'm going to tip forward like a drinking bird. So, see, it might be a little bit easier to see from the side. So if I'm going to lift up my left leg, go down as far as my hamstrings will allow me, and come back up. And I can use the rod for balance. I can use the rod as though it were a barbell. I want to do it with both sides. If you're using the rod for balance, so right now my right leg is up, far away from the body, rod on the right side is going to give me the most assistance. Close to the body, rod on the right side gives me a little bit less assistance. Moving the rod over to the same side as my down leg is even less assistance. And when I start to get really comfortable, stop using the rod for balance and use it to add a little bit of challenge by pretending it's a barbell. 15 repetitions on either side, or, like I've said before, 15-second hold is also fine. Just get to this position, feel that nice stretch in the hamstrings, and when you come out of this, just like when we're doing it on the floor, crack the walnut. Squeeze your butt cheeks together, it'll pull you right up. So, that is our week 2 challenge. So today's January 8th. I would like this done at least once a day on the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th of January. January 15, you will see my next video and we'll have our next challenge. So look forward to seeing your Swelfies until then.